All right, so today we're diving deep into something really creative.
Yeah.
A detailed description of this fictional underwater festival.
Hmm.
They call it the Oceanic Jubilee.
Oh, wow.
We're going to explore the creativity,
Yeah.
maybe uncover some hidden meanings,
Right.
and see if this fictional world kind of reflects any real-world issues.
It is intriguing how these made-up events
Yeah.
can hold a mirror up to our own reality.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm particularly interested to see
Yeah.
how they weave together this idea of community and diversity,
Right.
but also touch on
Mm-hmm.
some of those anxieties we have about the future.
Absolutely. And they do all of that
Yeah.
within this concept of an annual celebration of ocean life.
Yeah.
This year's Jubilee is themed Tales of the Tides,
Oh,
where
yeah.
each species contributes to like a collective story.
Interesting.
So it's not just a random collection of events. It's like they're building this narrative tapestry of life underwater.
That's a great observation. It suggests that every creature, no matter how big or small,
Yeah.
has a role to play in the larger ecosystem.
For sure.
It's not just about individual species,
Right.
but how they all fit together.
And they kick things off with a visual spectacle.
Oh.
A grand opening parade.
Nice.
Picture a flamboyant octopus
Okay.
leading the way.
Uh-huh.
Tentacles twirling,
Yeah.
almost like a conductor's baton.
Right.
Guiding schools of fish swimming in perfect synchronized patterns.
Oh, wow.
It's like an underwater ballet.
And it's not just a visual treat.
Yeah.
We've got dolphins providing the soundtrack
Okay.
with their clicks and whistles.
Wow.
It's like a whole symphony of underwater sounds.
Yeah.
The description really emphasizes this sensory experience.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah.
Then overseeing it all is Minister Turtle.
Oh.
He's described as the oldest and wisest
Okay.
sea creature,
Hmm.
which makes me think of, like a respected elder
Right.
sharing these ancient stories and guiding the community.
It's interesting that they chose a turtle for this role.
Yeah.
Could it be a nod to the longevity of sea turtles?
Oh, yeah.
The importance of preserving their habitats?
Yeah.
Or maybe even a reminder of the slow and steady pace of nature,
Right.
in contrast to our own fast-paced world.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
It adds another layer to consider.
definitely.
Now let's move on to the carnival atmosphere.
Okay.
We've got the crab claw contest. Can you imagine these crabs
Yeah.
locked in a test of strength, claws interlocked,
Yeah.
vying for the title of strongest crab?
It's all in good fun, of course.
Right.
But I wonder if there's a deeper meaning here.
Yeah.
Perhaps a playful commentary on competition,
Uh-huh.
the struggle for resources in the ocean?
Could be.
Yeah.
And then there's the jellyfish jamboree,
Okay.
where contestants navigate a maze of seaweed,
Interesting.
trying not to get stung.
Yeah.
It sounds like a whimsical take on the challenges of navigating a complex environment.
Absolutely.
Right.
And amidst all the fun and games,
Mm.
there's a touch of calculated risk.
Okay.
The description mentions shark siblings
Yeah.
running the game booths,
Right.
adding a layer of playful intimidation to the festivities.
I wonder if that's meant to be a humorous way
Yeah.
of acknowledging the natural predator-prey relationships in the ocean.
Right.
Like, even in a festival setting,
Yeah.
you can't escape the reality of the food chain.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
It's certainly an interesting detail to consider.
Yeah, it is.
But things take a bit of a turn when the mermaids arrive.
Okay.
They bring a touch of controversy to the Jubilee.
Right. They've set up a fortune-telling booth.
Interesting.
And Madame Manta, their leader,
Okay.
she claims to see the future of the ocean.
Wow.
Now that's where things get interesting.
Right.
Some creatures dismiss them as troublemakers,
Yeah.
while others are genuinely worried about her predictions.
It's a fascinating way to introduce this idea of differing perspectives and reactions to uncertainty.
Right.
Do we embrace the unknown, or does it make us anxious? And how do we respond when we're faced with these predictions,
Yeah.
especially about the environment?
It definitely adds an element of suspense and intrigue.
Yeah, it does.
But for now,
Okay.
let's shift gears and dive into
Okay.
the delicious world of the Oceanic Jubilee's food scene.
Ah, yes. We've got the seaweed sushi stand
Oh, cool.
offering kelp rolls, algae wraps.
Okay.
What stands out to you about this cuisine?
Well, it makes me think about the growing trend
Yeah.
of sustainable seafood in the real world.
Right.
Are they making a statement here about responsible consumption? Or is it simply a reflection
Yeah.
of the abundance of seaweed in the ocean?
It's likely a combination of both.
Right.
They're showcasing the diversity of ocean-based food,
Yeah.
but also subtly promoting this message of environmental awareness.
Okay.
And then there's the Krill Grill, run by a pod of orcas.
Orcas as grill masters.
Yeah,
That's a delightful image.
I know, right?
And it plays into our preconceived notions of orcas as these fierce predators. But here they are,
Right?
serving up plankton pancakes and krill kebabs.
It's a clever way to subvert expectations
Yeah.
and maybe even challenge our assumptions about certain species.
For sure.
But the highlight of the food scene
Yeah.
has got to be the great clam chowder cook-off.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And the esteemed judge is none other than Chef Squid,
Oh, wow.
a renowned underwater gourmet
Nice.
known for his discerning palate
Okay.
and his witty commentary.
This sounds fun.
It's like an underwater version
Yeah.
of a high-stakes cooking show.
I wonder if the different clam chowder recipes represent the diverse culinary traditions of
Yeah.
various underwater communities.
That's a fascinating thought.
Yeah.
Each chef bringing their own unique twist to a classic dish.
Right?
What do you think?
I think that's a really interesting idea.
Yeah.
It would definitely add another layer of meaning to the competition.
For sure.
And as the sun begins to set,
Okay.
the Jubilee transitions
Yeah.
from culinary delights to a dazzling display of talent.
Yes. We've got synchronized swimming manta rays,
Oh, wow.
a glowing performance by an electric eel,
Cool.
and of course,
Yeah.
the comedic stylings of Percy the pufferfish.
Ah, Percy, he's described as the unexpected star of the show,
Yeah.
delivering a stand-up routine
Yep.
that has the whole ocean in stitches.
Wow.
It seems humor plays a crucial role
Yeah.
in bringing everyone together.
For sure. But there's more to this Jubilee than just entertainment.
Right.
As the festivities wind down,
Yeah.
Minister Turtle addresses Madame Manta's predictions.
Yeah.
And that's where the true heart of the story emerges.
It's the moment where celebration gives way to reflection and where the fictional world of the Oceanic Jubilee intersects with the very real concerns we face about our own oceans. Welcome back to our deep dive into this incredibly detailed description of the Oceanic Jubilee.
It's amazing how much symbolism they've packed
Right.
into this fictional event.
It really is.
Yeah.
We've talked about community and environmentalism, but let's explore some of those symbolic layers a bit more.
Okay, I'm all ears. Where do we even begin?
We'll take the opening parade.
Okay.
You mentioned the flamboyant octopus leading the way.
Yeah?
Could that be a representation of artistic expression and the freedom to be oneself,
Yeah.
even if you're a little unconventional?
That's an interesting interpretation.
Yeah.
I was initially drawn to the idea of the octopus.
Right.
As a conductor,
Uh-huh.
orchestrating the movements
Yeah.
of all the other creatures.
Yeah.
Like a symbol of leadership,
Yeah.
bringing different groups together.
I see your point.
Yeah.
It could be both
Wow.
leadership and self-expression.
Okay.
And what about those schools of fish
Yeah.
swimming in those intricate patterns?
I saw that as a representation
Okay.
of harmony and cooperation.
Right.
Like, even though each fish is an individual,
Mm-hmm.
they're working together to create something beautiful,
Yeah.
bigger than themselves.
Exactly. It suggests that diversity doesn't have to lead to division.
Right.
It can actually enhance the beauty and strength of a community.
And then there's the dolphin symphony.
Right.
It's not just background music.
Yeah.
It's like they're communicating something important.
Right. Dolphins are often associated
Yeah.
with intelligence and complex communication.
Uh,
Perhaps their music represents the sharing of stories and knowledge,
right.
which is at the heart of that Tales of the Tides theme.
Okay, so we've got the octopus, the fish, and the dolphins.
Yeah.
All contributing to this rich tapestry of symbolism.
Mm-hmm.
What about the characters themselves?
Okay.
Like Minister Turtle, for example.
His role as the elder statesman,
Yeah.
the voice of wisdom and experience.
Right.
It really resonates with me. It's like they're saying that we should value the knowledge and insights
Right.
of older generations.
But then you have Madame Manta and the mermaids.
Right.
Who introduce an element of disruption,
Yeah.
challenge the status quo.
Their arrival shakes things up a bit, doesn't it?
It really does.
It's almost as if they represent those voices that question authority and push us to think differently.
It's interesting because their presence
Yeah.
creates tension, But it also sparks a conversation.
Right.
It forces the other creatures to confront their own beliefs and anxieties about the future.
Precisely. It wouldn't be a very compelling story.
No.
If everyone just agreed with each other all the time.
Right.
Conflict, even in a fictional setting, can be a catalyst for growth and change.
And speaking of change, let's talk about the culinary competition.
Okay.
It's not just about who makes the best clam chowder.
Right.
It's about showcasing different perspectives and approaches.
I agree. It's like each chef is bringing their own cultural heritage and culinary traditions to the table, literally.
And Chef Squid, with his meticulous tasting
Yes.
and witty commentary, adds an element of artistry and critique to the competition.
Yeah.
He's not just judging the food.
Right.
He's evaluating the creativity and innovation behind each dish.
It reminds me of how we approach art in the real world. There's always an element of subjectivity, but there are also standards of excellence and a desire to push boundaries.
So even the food at the Oceanic Jubilee is a form of storytelling.
Absolutely. And then, of course, we have the talent show, which is all about celebrating individual expression and the unique gifts that each creature brings to the community.
The synchronized manta rays, the electric eels, bioluminescent performance.
It's like they're showcasing the beauty and wonder of the natural world.
Yes. And it's not just about technical skill.
Right. It's about sharing something personal and meaningful with the audience.
And then there's Percy the pufferfish, the unlikely comedian who brings everyone together.
Yeah. With his humor. Percy's act is a reminder that laughter can be a powerful tool for connection and healing. Even in the face of challenges or disagreements.
It's almost as if his jokes are a way of diffusing the tension that was building earlier with Metamanta's predictions. It's like they're saying, hey, even in the midst of uncertainty, we can still find joy and laughter together.
Exactly.
And that brings us to the resolution of the Jubilee. Where celebration gives way to action.
Right. Minister Turtle addresses Madame Manta's predictions head on. And that's where things get really interesting. So here we are at the climax of the Oceanic Jubilee. It's gone from joyous celebration to a moment of reckoning.
It has all the fun and games have led to this point.
Where Minister Turtle has to address the elephant in the room. Or rather the mermaid with the unsettling predictions.
Madame Manta really threw a wrench in the works.
Just did.
Her pronouncements about the ocean's future, it left everyone feeling a bit uneasy.
It's a clever way for the creators of this fictional event to make us think about our own anxieties about the environment.
For sure.
It's easy to celebrate when things seem fine. But what happens when we're confronted with potential threats?
And that's where Minister Turtle's leadership comes in. He could easily dismiss Madame Manta as a troublemaker. But instead, he chooses to listen and encourage dialogue.
That's a powerful message, isn't it?
It is.
Instead of silencing dissenting voices, he creates space for discussion and collective problem solving.
So how do the other creatures respond to this call to action?
Well, it seems the spirit of the Jubilee prevails. Inspired by Minister Turtle's wisdom and his call for unity, they decide to form an ocean alliance dedicated to protecting their home.
It's amazing how this fictional narrative mirrors real-world efforts.
It does.
To address environmental concerns. It highlights the importance of collaboration and collective responsibility.
Exactly. They recognize that they're all interconnected and that the fate of one species is tied to the well-being of the entire ecosystem.
It's a reminder that we're not just passive observers of nature. But active participants in shaping its future.
Absolutely. And as the Jubilee comes to a close, we're treated to one final spectacle.
Oh, wow.
A breathtaking display of bioluminescence.
I can only imagine how magical that must look. The entire ocean floor illuminated with these vibrant colors.
It's symbolic, don't you think?
It is.
The darkness represents the uncertainty of the future, while the bioluminescence represents hope, resilience.
Wow.
The power of collective action.
It's a beautiful way to end the celebration. A reminder that even in the face of challenges, there's always beauty to be found and hope to be kindled.
It's been quite a journey.
It has.
Exploring this incredibly detailed description of the Oceanic Jubilee.
We've gone from analyzing the symbolism of a flamboyant octopus to contemplating the formation of an ocean alliance.
Yeah.
All within this imaginative underwater world.
And through it all, we've uncovered some insightful parallels to our own relationship with the ocean.
For sure.
And the challenges we face.
Definitely.
What stands out to you as the most important takeaway?
I think it's the emphasis on community collaboration.
Yeah.
And finding creative solutions to complex problems.
Absolutely.
The Oceanic Jubilee might be fictional, but the messages it conveys are very real and relevant to our own lives.
Well said. And on that note, we invite you, our listener, to continue this exploration. Imagine your own underwater festival.
Okay.
What would it look like? Yeah. What message would you want to convey to the world?
That's a fantastic question to ponder.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the Oceanic Jubilee.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep imagining.